sure. So I brought like an umbrella. I think it's gonna rain more tomorrow and Sunday. So this is your last chance to, just hang out with, Professor E and your friends, and, share a little pajan and makgeolli. Okay? Sal, are you gonna come with us? Okay, even Sal's coming. Double bonus. Okay? So who's coming tonight? I'll give you extra credit. Wow. Okay. Well, regular participation credit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, Sal's coming. Anybody else? Okay, 5's still good. Okay? We'll drink makgeolli and curse everybody else. No, just kidding. We're saying really positive things about you. Okay. All right. So, for the people who are coming, do you guys wanna should we leave early then, or what do you think? You guys wanna leave early? Okay. Then let's get together after class. Okay. And then we'll send a note to those, and then we're send an email saying, we'll be at Gwangju Market like in an hour. If you want to join us, just call us. Okay? Heather, you're going too, right? Okay. All the happening people are coming. Okay. All right. So after class, let's go drink makgeolli. Okay. Orange juice. Okay. Healthy orange juice. Okay. All right. Okay, now we have 2 great guest speakers from Open Doors Community Church. Okay, Sal, you wanted to start? Okay. Yeah, sure. Sal, and also Craig. You want to take a breather first, or? Okay. All right. Did you come all the way from Gwangju today?
No, I came from
Seongnam. Oh wow, dedication. Okay. So, okay. Oh, you have something to. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, USB is right here. Right here. No, this one right here. I do it right here. Ooh, soccer. Viva Mexico. Yes. All right. So I think it's forward or Yorkie, right? Okay. Bigger. Okay. And then what do you want to do?
You want the slideshow.
Okay, sure. That's fine. And then you want to just try to introduce you as a sociologist? Okay, that's fine. Okay. Saul is a sociology doctoral student at Gwangwon University. Okay. Saul came from Mexico. Yay.
Hola.
Yay.
Hola, Saul.
Hola. ¿Cómo está? Right? So we have a lot of. Who's from Mexico? 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, Florida. Close enough. Okay. So we have a lot of Mexican pride today. Yucatan. Okay. All right. Why isn't this?
Well, just need some time to warm up. There you go.
Okay. All right. And Saul also does research on ethnic and sexual diversity in Korea as well. Okay. So he's going to talk a little bit about his personal experience coming to Korea, and also about his research on different communities. Okay.
Hello everybody, good afternoon. So my name is Saul, I'm from Mexico, and this is Mexico, obviously you know it. And if you don't know where is Mexico is, I'm from Mexico and Korea so far. Almost 25 times if you go to Jeju-do, so the distance. Well, I'm studying a master's degree in American Studies in Mexico, and now I am here studying a PhD in sociology in Gwangwon University. I have been here for 4 years. I was studying Korean during 2 years in Halim University, and actually I am teaching Spanish in Halim University. And well, now I am in Gwangwon University studying my PhD in Korean, so it's crazy. but 할 수 있어요. Well, my family is very conservative, so I am Christian, so my family is Christian too. It's charismatic, it's Pentecostal church. So I grew up in this kind of environment. I go to the Sundays, every Sunday in the morning to the church and read the Bible and learn about the Bible. And this is my conservative family, part of this. Yes. You can see my conservative grandmother. My conservative mother and my cousin. She's my cousin. Actually, she has, with her husband, a big church in my hometown. And actually, we don't meet a lot because I live alone since I was 20s. I live in another city to study my master's degree, and now I am here. So, well, I am living alone, and I consider my family my close friends that I meet in the place that I am. So it's this kind of relationship. When I have a friend here, it's very important to me to keep constantly, and eventually he can make this kind of feeling. And I can feel that this in the Korean environment and the Korean culture, because sometimes it's difficult to find friends, but when you find a Korean friends, it's for all the life. At least it's my experience. Well. I love you, man. So I just start to read before to go to the kindergarten. Thanks to my grandmother. He taught me to read the Bible. So it was the first thing that I started to read. And well, why I am here? One of the reasons is always I have to have this experience to live abroad. And after I finished my master's degree in American Studies in Mexico, I applied for different scholarships. And I got a scholarship for studying here in Korea, in Kangwon University. So I am so satisfied to live here during 4 years. Even to learn Korean is kind of very hard, but it's a new challenge to me, especially because Korean and Spanish, or Korean and English, is two different, huge words. It's a very different environments and the grammar and words and the culture. So, but this makes me work in my brain. So that's why I'm here. So pros and cons to live here in Korea. So I can't tell a lot of things. Just I want to show one pros and one cons for living here. So one of them that I like a lot is this kind of experience, to meet not only Koreans, but foreigners from all the world. I used to live 3 years in a dormitory in my university, in Halim University in Kangwon. So I met a lot of kind of people of different worlds, different parts, different countries. So this is a very rich environmental and experience. And the other thing that is one of disadvantage for me is speaking Korean. And it's not because the language is difficult, but every language has a different kind of difficulty, so it's not the point. The point is most of the time that I try to speak Korean in the daily life, the people answer me in English. So this is the thing that is kind of hard. Even I live in Chuncheon. So Chuncheon is a very small town in Gangwon-do, 1 hour and a half from here. And it's curious some experience when I was just shopping in the E-Mart or Lotte Mart, and some children with their father and mother. Oh, 엄마, 외국인. Yeah, a foreigner here. So I suddenly, what happened here? But after time, I understand, 외국인, this is, I am 외국인. So, 한국인. So the children, 한국말 잘해. So it's funny. The process of learning is the way that you know, if I say, the Korean is difficult, it's to make me a hard life here. So I enjoy to learning Korean. Actually, I study Korean in a regular way, but I applied for a program organized by the immigration office. This program is to teach Korean and Korean culture to the the wives, the foreigner wives who got married with Koreans. So during 1 year and a half, my classmates stood in my Korean class was Philippines women and Mongolians and Chinese, and they go to the class with the children. And they speak Korean very well, but they cannot write, so they need to study a lot. So, but it's a different experience to have 2 years. My classmate was just students, and 1 year and a half, my classmate was achuma. 외국인 achuma. So all ladies, it was my classmate. So what? This is a kind of disadvantage living here, but it's okay. So why I am here? One article that I wrote and I sent to Joseph some weeks ago, and I can send you if you are interested to read it. Is this article was published in Argentina magazine. So the Argentina magazine is published in English and Portuguese and Spanish. So I wrote in English. So I wrote this article related with social violence of evangelical churches against sexual minorities in Korea. So, but how can I make this, or why? Okay, 1 year and a half, 1 year ago, I participated in a program organized by the Korean Foundation and the East Asia Institute. And the program was to go to different conferences related with Korea, politics, sociology, culture, economy. So I attended this conference during 2 months. And one of the requirements to graduate of this program was to write an essay and participate in a competition. So I was worried because I wanted to finish the program and to get my diploma from the Korean Foundation and East Asia Institute. So I was thinking what kind of topic could be interesting for them. And actually I was afraid that time because if I wrote about these taboo topics or this kind of sensitive issues in Korea, maybe could reject my topic. But I took the risk. And this was the first slide that I presented. So the name is different. It was a very short essay, about maybe 3 or 4 pages. So the title was related with the public role of Protestantism, its social implication for the gay community in Korea. So really, I was really afraid to, my title is for the gay community in Korea. So, but okay, I took the risk. And then, okay, I start with this small video. It's just.
I'm free to be whatever I choose, and I'll sing the blues if I want. I'm free to sing whatever I like. If it's wrong or right, it's alright.
So this video and the title, I thought, my God, they're gonna kill me here. But no, actually, my essay has good reception. So one of the more valued things for me in this experience last year was that originally this competition, they offered just 2 prizes, the first place and the second place. And suddenly in the ceremony award, they suddenly opened a 3rd place to me. Yeah, and I'm sure that was suddenly because usually in this kind of ceremony awards, they give you a small gift and a small box with something and the money, and not just they gave me the money and that's it. And wow, they opened, they like it. So, and at the end of the ceremony, all the foreigners and Korean students asked me more about the topic. So this was the origin of this article. Just 5 pages became in 32 pages, yes, in 1 year after. No. So in the article, but basically, I explain in 3 sections. First, very brief history about homosexuality in Korea. So this was so surprise for all of them. when I start to tell them some kings of different dynasty were gay, and especially when the daughter-in-law of King Sejong was lesbian, and I started with some of the chronology of the gays kings of different dynasty, and I could see, oh my God, what are you telling? So I was kind of shocked for them. And the second part, I analyzed the relationship of homosexuality and religion, and particularly Confucianism in the shape of value in Korea. And finally, in the article, I analyzed the different rhetoric of anti-gay crusade from the evangelical church in Korea. So this is the three main parts of my article. But my main purpose, there are a lot of articles and research related with political human rights and that kind of stuff. But I prefer to focus in how do the gay community feel. And I show them some examples in the article. For example, I don't remember the name, was 10 years ago, very famous gay presenter is, who declared coming out in TV 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Hong Sok-jeon, yeah.
He's actually a Hanyang alumni.
Oh, okay.
From this school.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I took some examples and tried to emphasize in the feelings. Most of the things is the human rights and politics and law, and especially the feelings. And according with my experience in my interview with different Koreans and gays and Latin Americans or foreigners gays in Korea, I just divide my explanation now and my experience interviewing them in three sections. This is language, ethnic, and a relationship. So about language, the relationship between a gay foreigner and with Koreans is difficult because usually the Koreans or the gay community try to speak in English with foreigners. And in the gay environment, it is the same thing. Especially if we think about ethnic, they prefer to go out and to have a boyfriend, white boyfriend, not Latin American or not another race, Philippines, Chinese, or Mongolians. No, they prefer a white because it's kind of a status. If a Korean go out, a gay Korean go out with some white foreigner, it's like, oh, I feel, and it must if they speak in English. So, and walking in the subway and we're speaking English with the white people, so it's a kind of status. And finally, the kind of relationship. I have interviewed different gay Koreans, and when I do my interviews, I do it in Korean. So it's kind of hard, but thanks to the language, I can feel more closely how do they feel, how do they think about their life. So I have noticed and I have seen a lot of loneliness in their lives. I have met and interviewed soldiers, young people, people from 50s, 40s, some 50s. I have talked deeply with grandfathers. And I have a very interesting conversation with a pastor from a Christian church, married. And this was a very particular experience because when I called him to ask him an interview, okay, we can meet us where? In the church. Oh, okay. So I went to the church. I participated in the worship service, a very big church in Seoul. And after this, we went to drink a coffee and talk about homosexuality issues. And I can feel this kind of, especially with a lot of married men that I had met, is kind of, okay, I am married here, I have my family, and I want to have a man next to me, but there are two different words, they don't mix. So just my conclusion or pre-conclusion is the concept of love could be different for Asia countries or for Korea and for Mexicans or Western people. Our concept of love is like a Hollywood, and the beards and the big hair and I love you and this kind of things. But here, when I realize, oh my God, you are a pastor or you are married and you have a good family and happy family, but at the same time, you are looking for a man to love. So get married is my duty, and to have a man is really my need to satisfy my sexual necessities or other kind of emotion. But I have my duty here to get married now. So in general, for conclusion, I have seen in the gay community in Korea, they are not together. Even when I talk with different of them, one question was so important to me. Do you have gay friends in your job, in your company, or in your university? No, but you know there are some gays in your university or your company? Yes, but why don't you talk with them? I'm afraid if I meet him, maybe our relationship could be wrong or we are not so good talking each other, and maybe he could reveal my identity to others. So, wow. So just you can imagine this kind of life living hidden, and some of them are, it's like a resignation. I can feel that. Like, okay, this is my life. I have to get married. And if I need to meet a man, okay, it's for Western way of thinking is, oh, they have a double standard. But if I see this, since the point of view of Korean society or Korean sociology, it's not a double standard. I have my duty to get married. There are two different boxes. They don't mix. I think that I'm not sure. I need to research more. And obviously, what about the lesbians? This is another hot topic. What about the transgender? And all these kind of things happen in Korea. So maybe later I can write something related with that. But until here, well, this is my presentation. If you have any questions, just I'm open to answer everything you want.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Saul. Very interesting. Okay. All right. So, do you have any questions about his, personal life as a foreigner in Korea, or about his research on the LGBT in Korea? Come on, you must have some questions. Because everybody has to, write a critical summary and email it to the TA by Monday. Okay, so come on, think of. Okay, all right. Emily has something to say. Yay. Okay.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. What has been your biggest obstacle that you met during this research? The main obstacles, that you have met during this research.
Okay, something is, first is the language.
Okay.
Yeah. But I have found some very kindly people that have the patience to listen to me and to answer me carefully and slowly. Sometimes we use English, but this is one of the main obstacles. The second one could be they don't trust. Yeah, obviously. You are going to reveal my name? No. Obviously, I am getting in a hidden world, and they are openly a little, and so I am here inside and try to look at around what happened here. So sometimes it's they don't trust in me.
Right. I think that's very interesting because if you I think if I ask the Europeans or just foreigners, right? Do you know before our trips, okay? Did you know somebody who was gay? Raise your hand. Okay.
Somebody,
Yeah, anyone. Or anyone. Okay. And then how about the Koreans? Before you took my class. Okay. Oh, really? You knew somebody who was gay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's more than I thought. Because when I talked to other Koreans in the past, they were, just nobody knew anybody, who was gay. Okay.
Wow.
Because it was so hidden, right? But maybe the person who's gay is in Korean. From what, Korea, or how did you know? 친구들 다 알아? 엄마 아빠는? Oh, that's interesting. Maybe there's a second stage where the friends know,
Yeah.
but 엄마 and 아빠 not yet.
Some interesting question that they answer me is, what do you think about to open with your family or some close friends? And they never think about it. They think I'm gonna die like straight. Even everybody knows, especially some of them are kind of effeminate. So I don't tell them that, obviously, but come on, everybody knows you are gay. But only he doesn't know. So, but especially this is the process to open to, they don't think about it to open. So when someone coming out is a big process and is a big issue to them. Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Any other questions or comments?
Are there gay places in Korea? Like, do they exist, like gay bars or kind of thing?
Yeah, it's interesting to find this kind. They have invited me to some different places, and it's interesting the different divisions of the places. So in Itaewon is for young people,
Young people.
yeah, and to meet foreigners, maybe little rich people. But there are other area that is especially for old people, and then other section for fat people. Yeah. Yeah, every has a classification. So there is all kind of places, Noreban, cafes, saunas, everything.
You're so curious. Anyway, but in terms of statistics, I think Itaewon has about 100 gay bars, and what? Not 100? Why have you been there? Okay.
But
So-
openly gay, like everybody that comes in is gay.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
openly.
Itaewon has about 100, and I heard Jongno has about 300.
Yeah.
Right, so Jongno is a big concentration. You
For
can go there today if you want. Anyway.
especially for Koreans and for foreigners. Itaewon is for foreigners, so the Koreans who wants to meet some gay foreigner go to Itaewon. But the old people, or 30s and 40s and 50 people, they go to Chonglo, and usually there is no foreigners there.
We should go to Itaewon tonight then. Okay. Yes. Yes, Steve?
Seoul greater area, I think last statistic was like 25.7 million people. Of the 20-something million people, what percentage did your study show that there is a gay community?
I can answer.
Did you do any?
Right. Well, in terms of the published research, the interesting thing is that because this is such a taboo topic, academics have done no surveys. Right. In the United States and other Western countries, we have many surveys. So the best studies in the United States shows it's about 3%, about maybe 3.5%. So it's not. So when I say about 3.5% of people are gay, does it seem like a lot or little? Little, yeah. So many Westerners think, oh, that's so little. Maybe Koreans think like, what? They exist? It's a lot, right? Like that means like 100 people, like maybe 4 of them are LGBT. Okay. That means that Hanyang has how many students? Right. LGBT is lesbian, gay, bisexual,
Bisexual,
transgender.
transgender.
So Hanyang has about 20,000 students, right? So that means about 400 people must be LGBT. Do you understand? I understand math! Right, do you see? So that's why we have at least I think we have 2 or 3 LGBT clubs, okay? But not all of the LGBT are members. Maybe just half of them are members, right? So maybe 200 are actually members. The other 200 are, very quiet about it, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying at every large university, you should have at least 400 to 500 LGBT students, okay? Anyway, so if you assume that Korea is similar to other countries, then we assume that maybe 3.5% to 4% are LGBT, okay? And if you think about it, that's about the same percentage as foreigners. Foreigners make up about 3.2% of the population, okay? So do you understand? So about 3.5% are foreigners, 3.5% are LGBT. That would give you kind of a context. Okay. Anything else?
Just one more question.
Yes.
Can it affect your affect your professional life being gay here in Korea? Like, no?
We
Just
respect. Oh, so
it
you're just
just-
asking in general, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
like
Right. That's actually a very good question.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
good
And
question.
this is the reason why a lot of people are, they're afraid to come out, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, but that's different.
yeah, it's the States.
In California, if you come out as gay, you're actually like a hero. Okay.
Yeah.
If you come out as a Christian, that looks bad. So I think Tim Gaze, Tim Cook. I don't know. They all look the same after a while. Okay, so Tim Cook, he came out as gay, and he's like a big hero. Whereas I think Brandon Ikes, he was a head of Mozilla, and then people were digging through his records, and they found out that he voted for Proposition 8, because he's a traditional Christian. So although he never came out publicly, but because people found out, he had to resign. So I think California is kind of like the opposite example. But in Korea, I think that I think there's a lot of people. I think there's a lot. In a way, it's almost like a myth. I'm not saying it's true or false, but there's a very widespread mythology among the LGBT, among gays, that if I come out, bad things will happen to me. Okay? My personal feeling, talking to a lot of young people like you, is that I think most Koreans, especially younger generation, we don't really care about your personal life. Don't tell me, okay? I mean, like, just a funny joke. Like, by the way, if you guys get sick, you don't have to give me doctor's note, okay? You also don't have to tell me like if you're like some like 설사는지 안 설사는지. I don't have to know, okay? That's diarrhea, okay? So a lot of students, they email me with all this really detailed personal information, and I'm like, I do not need to know that, okay? I trust you, okay? So the point is that I think the younger generation, and especially me, I respect people's privacy, okay? And I think the main thing that is important is that whether you can do your job, okay? And so I think just in terms of personal like courtesy, I don't think people go around asking like, are you gay? People don't do that, right? Why do you do that? Okay, but that's considered kind of impolite. So I think I'm hoping that Korea is evolving. Okay,
Yeah.
so and I think even now, I think people keep I think people are learning to respect each other's privacy. So I think in that respect, I think it's fine. Do you want to add to that or?
No, so most of them, they are afraid to reveal their preference in the companies or in the schools because they think they affect. It's because the level of discrimination that they can feel. But it's like a circle. It's how I don't reveal my preference because something bad could happen. But if the gay community start to be more active, and the community start to change. So here the gay community is not together. Some people support these human rights activities, and others they don't care. Others are old people, and they're not unity with them.
Actually, I think what you need is that you need a big company like Apple or Samsung, somebody in those companies to come out.
Yeah.
And then if they come out and then nothing happens to them, like they're treated like anybody else, then I think you would kind of break the mythology, right? So I'm waiting for the first Samsung or Apple or BMW guy to
In the government.
or maybe in the government, maybe like Park Geun-hye's nephew or something. I don't know. Somebody to just. He doesn't have to just come out publicly, but maybe somebody just ask him, or maybe just record it. Maybe just something that just happened to be recorded, and so it comes out. And it happens that he's gay, and then he'll just say, "Yeah, I happen to be gay." Okay, it's not something that I'm pushing for.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's just who I am, and yeah. and then maybe after that it would be like, and then people will move on, right? Nothing big happens. So let's see. I'm still waiting for that moment. Anyway, so that's topic number 1. Was there something else? Actually, another topic that I wanted to talk about was this whole idea of a gay Christian. Okay, how can you be? Because we're all, I think 3 of us, we go to the Open Doors Community Church, right? And then it's a church that is open doors for everybody. Okay, and so the question is, how can you be gay but also be gay but also love Jesus? Okay. So maybe like the Christians in the audience or non-Christians can share your thoughts on that matter. Okay, Emily?
I think the question is misleading because, how could you be a woman and be Christian? The Bible is not that kind to women either. So I think that's, of course you can discuss it, but it will be like, I don't know. I think it's misleading because the Bible is like that, like I said, like if you read about women in the Bible, I cannot be a Christian. So.
Wait, you're saying that you cannot be a woman, if you're a woman, you cannot be Christian? Or?
No, but if you ask that kind of questions, because then you cannot be a women pastor, or you cannot, you see what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Did everyone understand Emily's point? Yeah, Emily's point is that the Bible says a lot of things about women, which is not good, but we're able to master that issue.
For me, I'm not a Christian, but I am Muslim, and since I've grown up in the Netherlands, I've been surrounded by people who are gay more than I think people who are here in Korea. Like people who are my best friends or whatever, they come out of the closet at the age of 15 or 16, and I've learned to I believe that God has made them that way, and they still care about God. So even though you're gay, you can still have faith. You can still have God in your life. It doesn't mean that because of the fact that that you have a different sexual preference means that you cannot have a God you believe in, something you hold on to in life. So for me, I think we are growing as humanity, and we are becoming more understanding about it. And if you would ask if you would ask this question to my parents, who are of a different generation, but who are also Muslim, they'll be like, no, it's forbidden, it's not possible. But for me, because I'm from the younger generation and we are being more exposed to these things, I think we are becoming more open-minded, and we are understanding more it happens, we have to just accept it.
Just to play the devil's advocate, because I've been following this debate among gay Christians in America. There's actually a website called gaychristian.net. You might have heard of it. And there's actually a split. There's actually a split among gay Christians. Okay, there's side A that argues that exactly what you said. God created gay, so we are so it's fine. Okay, but then there's a side B that says that yes, God created us for who we are, so we have these feelings. But the critical question is, do we act on these feelings? Okay? And if acting on these feelings means that we commit sin, we break a biblical rule, that means that's wrong. Okay? And so some gay Christians, part B argues that to be truly gay and Christian means you need to be celibate. Okay? So there's that. So there's a argument. So there's a claim A and there's a claim B. Okay, that to be truly gay and Christian, you have to be celibate. Okay, and then because one of the way they imply this is they say a lot of people have different kinds of sexual feelings. I think a few weeks ago we talked about zoophilia, right? That is sexual feelings for animals. Okay, and in some societies. There's actually more zoophiliacs than homosexuals, okay? But then the Bible also says that bestiality is wrong, and so many people who feel sexually for animals, they constrain their feelings. and so the gay Christians part B will say, that everybody has to constrain their feelings and not act on them to be truly Christian. Okay. All right. Any thoughts? Okay.
How can they live it? I mean, I just think that kind of thing is so weird. I know you're not, but how can they legitimize that?
How can I what?
How can they legitimize that kind of thing? Like, oh, because I cannot sin. There's so many things in the Bible that you cannot do, and if you're gonna live like that. So basically, they have to live in a cave, not swear, not wear clothes that have more than one. There's so many rules from that time the Bible was written. So that doesn't make any sense.
That's true. But the flip side is that there's so many rules in the Bible. Does that mean we should just break them all? I mean, so the question is, what are the rules that we need to keep versus the rules that need to be more flexible? And I'm not saying you're right or
No,
wrong.
I know, and it's just mean that they. I sure they have an answer to that, because that's just a weird claim to do.
Okay. I think Steve has a point. Okay, Steve, Pastor Steve. All right, preach it, brother.
All right. I had my degrees in religious studies at Florida International University, and I have an MDiv at Trinity International University, TEDS Divinity School. When I studied under the liberal undergrad, we did a lot of classes about sexuality, about, just androgynous people with different sex organs and all different types of people. And I wrestled with this a lot, guys, and I want to share with you guys. I think Christianity is misconstrued when Christians are trying to change people. We're not called to change people. We're called to love people. The person that's supposed to change people is God. And so if that person's consciousness says it's wrong, let's say if I eat a lot of chocolate and I think it's wrong, then I need to slow down on the chocolate. If my consciousness tells me that this is not wrong, that's between you and God. I really believe that it's not my job to tell you what to choose. My job is to say what God said. Jesus was asked by the Pharisees, says, what's the greatest commandment of all? And Jesus responded, if you could just do these two things, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and body, and love your neighbors. And he said, all these things hang upon these two laws. He said, if you could just fulfill that, you fulfill all the laws. And we're not here to fulfill the laws. There's over 600 laws in the Old Testament. And when I shared to you guys about grace, can you guys imagine in this class if the professor gave all of you guys A's from the beginning? Is it A's? Is it A? You got to use an A system. What if he gives you guys an A+, right? And you don't have to turn in all. You could not turn in all your work. You could not. You could skip class, and at the end of the class, at the end, when you get your report card, you got an A+. How would you feel? That's called grace. And within that, it's not that you did all the good work or you didn't do the work or how did you live or how did you didn't live. It's that Jesus did the work. He made the sacrifice. He said, I'll do what you guys can't do. Now you do. Just become like me, follow me, and love people, love God. And if we could just stick to those principles, I think everybody will change in different ways. Some people will that's why there's two different opinions about this issue within the gay community, Christian community, and that's upon their consciousness. But my job is not to go over there and say, well, this community is right and this community is wrong. God did not call us to do that.
All right, so that's Pastor Steve. We also have another pastor. We're full of pastors today. Do you want to maybe do a brief introduction and share your thoughts, Craig? Yeah, sure. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. Sure. All right. Okay, let's go.
How much time have we got?
10 minutes?
10 minutes, yeah.
Okay, then we have to go out and drink orange juice. Yes. Okay.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Craig Bartlett, and I am
I guess you. I would call myself a co-leader of the Open Doors Metropolitan Community Church in Seoul, in Itaewon-dong, Itaewon-ido, I guess, in the Haebangchon community. Just to give you a little bit of background, ODMCC originally started as ODCC, the Open Doors Community Church, and it started out as a congregation of a group called the Progressive Christian Alliance. It was started by a person who had been ordained as a pastor by the PCA. His name is Daniel Payne, and he started out this congregation as a place, a safe place, where people could be Christian and LGBT at the same time.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can be whatever you want.
Yes,
Whatever.
yes. Well, I mean, it was intended to be. It was intended to be a safe space for people in the sexual minorities community to say who they were and yet be Christian at the same time. They started in November of 2011, and their first worship service, they had 6 people. I came to, and I should also add that in January of this year, ODCC received a charter. They became a charter emerging church, like a mission congregation, of the Universal Fellowship of Metropolitan Community Churches, which is a U.S.-based denomination, which is popularly known as the gay church. But again, it is a place where persons in the sexual minorities communities can be who they are, and Christian as well. The UFMCC started in 1968 in San Francisco, and it now has about 400 congregations in close to 40 different countries. ODMCC, as it is now known, as I said, is affiliated with them, so it's dually affiliated. I'm not gay, but I came to ODMCC in April, May of this year, mainly for personal reasons. I have a theological education background. My first degree was in religious studies. My first master's degree is an MDiv from Emmanuel College in the University of Toronto. It is a theological college affiliated with the United Church of Canada. So many of the issues around Christianity and sexual ethics are old hat to me, because the United Church of Canada went through all of these issues about 30 years ago, anywhere from 30 to 20 years ago. The United Church of Canada was the first denomination to officially admit to the possibility that someone who is gay or lesbian could go through the ordination process and be ordained as a minister in the United Church of Canada. So, many of these things are very familiar to me. I've heard much of this before. But in any case, I went to ODMCC mainly because of its affiliation with the PCA. Before this year, I had not been active in the church for about 17 years, ever since I moved to Korea, ever since I moved to Asia back in 1997. But this year, I made a decision to become active in the church again, and that led to the question of, well, is this, I need to address the ministry question again, because I had been a candidate for ministry in the United Church of Canada, but that didn't work out. That's another story in and of itself. So I went to ODMCC, and I became involved. And I eventually concluded, yes, that this is something that I wanted to be involved with again. So beginning in September, I became an interim minister of worship because the founding pastor of the church decided he did not want to do that anymore. And I did that I've been doing that for the last 2 months, and then beginning November, beginning tomorrow, we'll be starting a new form of leadership arrangement where we'll have kind of leadership by committee, I suppose. But the thing that I would say is that as a Christian, as a person exploring ministry, what I've appreciated about Open Doors Church is its openness. And because of its openness, the fact that it is open to not only to not only to sexual minorities, but also to the persons like me who we get euphemistically referred to as the straight allies, that there's room for us as well, and there's room to consider things, practices, to do things in church which are a little bit out of the ordinary. In fact, the founding pastor, Daniel, he's been going through a transition in his life where he's sort of become more non-theistic. He calls himself atheistic, but I call him non-theistic. But he still attends. He still participates. We still talk together, and we debate, and we discuss different things, and so. But I would say that that's what ODMCC is for me personally. It's about openness, and I'm not really sure if I could really honestly fit into another congregation at this time. So even though I don't identify as a sexual minority, I would say that a church which is which is positive towards sexual minorities, is open and affirming, can be open and affirming of me as well. So that's why I attend.
Thank you. We have 1 minute left.
Yes.
Before I do Q&A, next week we have. Usually we don't do this kind of lecture style. We do more discussion. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I need about 2 volunteers for next week's meeting for our international organization. We're doing Israel-Palestine EDS. Can I get a couple of volunteers? Come on! I give you like 1, especially English learners. You know, I want you guys. This is a great chance. Think of this like free English hagwon. Okay, you can write, you can speak. 1. Anybody else? Anyway, please email me. Also, Wede people, yay. We're going to be talking about North Korea, civil society in North Korea. I sent you the email. Can I get a couple of volunteers to share, share your summary or essay? Okay? Can I get a volunteer? Volunteer! Say yes. No. No, next week we'll be talking about North Korea civil society.
So what's Wede?
Wede is the other. That's not you. It's a
Puffs.
different one. Yeah, it's Wede. Okay, where are people? Okay? Who wants to volunteer? Come on. Okay, one. All right, now. Okay, Hanyang Civil Society. We'll be discussing same topic, civil society in North Korea. Who wants to volunteer? One. All right. Anybody else? Okay, one from each class. They're usually more active.